Hi, Harrison. Thank you so much for meeting again with me today.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Pretty good. So how has everything been due to the coronavirus? Has that affected your hours at all, or?
Things have actually slowed down a lot at the hospital with us only doing urgent and emergent cases to try to free up more space for the coronavirus patients. Um, so as of now, some hours have been cut, but lots of people are volunteering to float to other departments and stuff like that. So we're definitely staying busy.
That's good to hear. That's probably hard that your hours are cut a little bit. Do you think you were expecting that with all of this?
No, I definitely expected the opposite, but I think that there's just been a lack in patients and kind of waiting for the influx of COVID patients to come in when it peaks in a couple of weeks. So we will see what happens. I think at worst case, it'll just be hours being down for just a few weeks.
Right. Well, that's good to hear at least. And it's good to hear that you guys are prepared for when that influx of patients do come in eventually at the peak of everything.
Absolutely.
So I think today for the meeting, last week we kind of just discussed the needs of your company and I asked you lots of questions. And this week I think we're just going to kind of continue that conversation, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
And again, like last week, I'm going to take some notes. So, what has made you want to find a new disposable medical supplier provider?
Well, in the medical industry, there's always different companies, startup companies, and companies creating all different kinds of new products. And we change and switch products all the time. So whenever I hear about something new, I'm always willing to look into it because with how fast-paced the medical industry is, there's always something bigger and better out there.
That's very interesting. And I bet it's kind of hard when you're trying to look at all these new and different products. Is it hard to distinguish which ones are actually going to work and which ones are just kind of some new innovation that's not very secure or tested yet?
Right. Sometimes you have to take a little bit of a leap of faith on a product, but usually by the time it gets to us in the hospital, it's already been through lots of rigorous testing to see if this is something that's going to work, something that's going to fail. So usually by the time it gets to us, it's pretty solid, but there's also so many different options that, you know, some are better than others, definitely.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, who's usually involved in making decisions like these?
Surprisingly enough, in the cath lab where I work, we work as a big team, and our boss allows us to kind of make some decisions on product that is bought. Really, it's determined on how we feel we're doing in the lab and what we need. Our management isn't always hands-on in these surgeries and in these hard caths, so they really look to us to ask, "Hey, is this a product that you guys would be interested in?" And they absolutely run this by the doctors since they're the ones in there every time. So a mixture of kind of doctor's preference and nurses and techs that work in the lab make these decisions.
Well, that's really cool. It seems like you guys have a good system down, and it makes sense that you all kind of decide this as a team since everybody's going to be using it, not just the higher people up.
Right.
So I know that you all have some specific needs that are vital to what kind of product you want. Would you mind telling me about some of those?
Are you talking specifically about gloves?
Sure, yeah.
Um, well, specifically about gloves, we definitely need a glove that is latex free because that's the allergy that we run into all the time. So any new glove product that didn't have a latex free option or was just latex free all the time would definitely be something that we couldn't buy. Um, I know that recently we've been looking into a few startup companies that offer gloves that have texture on them, that don't have texture on them. That's something big with the companies, but we've also been looking for something that would help to keep our surgeons and our tech and nurses' hands dry during these surgeries because a lot of the time these surgeries will go on for 2 to 3 hours and the sweat can build up inside the gloves and just make it very difficult to be able to do tedious tasks like putting small wires in, etc.
Definitely. And I remember you mentioning some of those needs last time from our meeting, and just that you all needed a glove that was convenient and just high quality material specifically. And so it's interesting to hear some of more of those aspects that are important for you all. Um,
Absolutely.
so what impact do you think proper gloves have on the medical work environment for you?
The impact that gloves have on our work environment is actually huge because without these gloves, we would be working, with our bare hands right against these products, which is just completely impossible.
Right.
Obviously, the infection rate would skyrocket, and you would see all kinds of terrible things happen. So gloves are just like a basic necessity, almost as if putting on your shoes for work. Like you're going to need to put on some gloves for these cases. So it is definitely something that we're always looking into, always interested in, and something that our doctors and our techs and nurses are using multiple times every day, which is can't really be said about many products in the lab or in the hospital.
Right. Yeah, well, that's really interesting to hear. So, how do you think, since the gloves are such a vital aspect to your work environment, how do you think UC would be affected, or not even UC specifically, but just the medical field in general, if you guys didn't have the proper kind of gloves that your employees needed and that your patients needed?
Yeah, I definitely think that it would create a big, big problem. Even if we had gloves to use and keep ourselves sterile, but they weren't the kind of gloves we need, say that, they didn't have some sort of grip on them or the other way around. Lots of times we need gloves that do not have grip on them for different things in surgeries. So it definitely is very important.
Yeah, I would say so too. Um, So I think now I'm just kind of gonna explain a little bit about my product because we haven't really talked about that too much yet.
Sure.
But I think I can really see how our product's main benefits really um, are similar to the needs of what UC needs in their glove products. And one of the big ones is that we have a very high quality material, much higher than our other competitors like Quick Medical and just some other ones that hospitals in the area use.
Sure.
And the main thing about it is that since we have such high quality material, it makes it a lot easier for just employees to use it and not have to worry about it ripping or tearing. We have a no break guarantee on our gloves, and that seems like something that would be very convenient for you all at UC Health. Um, but yeah, do you have any questions about the specific material?
Absolutely. That sounds very intriguing. That's cool that a product has been created that can be break free. Obviously, with latex free, you have to come up with a bunch of different materials to use, and it makes sense that they found one that actually is thick and durable enough to just stretch and not break. Um, how do your gloves compare to some of your other competitors, though?
That's a great question. I'm actually really happy that you brought that up. Uh,
Hmm.
so, like I said, our gloves do have a very high quality, and some of the extra features of that is, like you said, they are all latex free, so you don't have to worry about wearing specific gloves for specific patients. It just comes in a standard all latex free. And also, we've been doing a lot of new tests on a material on the inside that has a specific powder that makes your hands actually reduce the sweat. And so it makes your hands very breathable while also still remaining sterile, which is the main importance of our glove. Um,
Okay, awesome.
so yeah, a lot of I feel as though our company is on the cutting edge with that inside powder with making your hands sweat free. And a lot of companies, they do have latex and they do have the texture, the non-texture, the different size of gloves, which is pretty standard. But I think what really sets our product apart is just having that sweat free, breathable, sterile inside.
Sure, yeah. I've actually never heard of anything like that before. That's definitely something we'd be interested in. I know that I personally sweat more than other people. Everyone's kind of different, but I can get like 20 minutes into a case and my gloves will just be completely full of sweat. Because obviously, since it doesn't want to leak through, that powder that you guys created makes sense that it just stops the sweat from happening at all.
Right. And after our discussion today, I can email you some of our actual just our evidence of the tests that we've run and the different experiments that we've run, just to give you some real data and some real numbers on how that's actually been working for other hospitals who have used our products, and just
Mhm.
kind of the process that we went through to get there. So do you have any other questions today?
Well, Sarah, I seem very interested in your product. I mean, it kind of sells itself. It seems like it fills a few of the problems that I've been having at the hospital. I'm definitely interested in getting some more information about it. My last question probably would be about price. How does the price of these gloves, with all this kind of new stuff that other people don't have, how does it compare to your competitors and to the gloves that we're currently using at UC?
Right. And that is definitely a great question, because I know that price is definitely something, probably next to quality, that is the biggest impact of whether somebody decides to go ahead with something or a new product. So I completely understand. And I would say, I just want to be upfront with you. Our product is a little more expensive than the average glove. And that is because we offer all of these benefits that most of our other competitors don't have. And so, although our price is a little higher than average, since our material and the quality is so high and durable, um,
Mm-hmm.
we believe that it will actually save you all lots of money in the long run, because you all won't have to worry about rips or constantly changing gloves in the middle of surgery. And I think that
Yeah.
will save you guys just material and supplies. You won't have to go through as many, and just save you all the time in the long run.
Cool. Well, that definitely sounds like something I'm still interested in. Price obviously is always a factor, but there's plenty of product in the cath lab we use that's the most expensive, because at UC we want things to be done the right way. So it's not always about the money, but I appreciate you being upfront about that. I'm very interested in learning more about your product.
Awesome. And that's great to hear. And I've always been a supporter of different medical fields. And so I definitely do want UC. Sounds like you guys are definitely on the right path, and always try to stay up to date with everything. And so, but yeah, thanks for letting me tell you a little more specifically about our product today. And if it would be okay, I'd like to continue this conversation sometime. I'm free next Monday or Thursday, so I'll just email you those times again that I'm free, and then we can just continue that conversation more if you'd like.
That sounds great, Sarah. I appreciate your time.
All right, perfect. See you, Harrison.
Goodbye.